We are live. It's Thursday, and welcome to episode number 19 of From Ordinary to Extraordinary. And let me just tell you, I believe you're extraordinary already. It's not that you need to become extraordinary, because you already are. Just the fact that you're here means that you are extraordinary. I mean, the fact that you came into this life means that you've already struggled and fought some big battles just to get here. What? Oh, my producer is telling me that my microphone is jacked up. Is that better? All right, come on in. Oh, look, see, she doesn't want to get into the camera. I'm gonna push your buttons today. You know, what else is new? We explore every single week the psychology and the strategies of ultimate performance, mastery, greatness, genius. And you can have a complete life and business turnaround if you are willing to apply, keyword, take action, keyword, on the things that we explore. Before I get started, though, I want to do a quick gratitude shout out, cover some administrative issues. First of all, for all of you who were here last week and shared this with your tribe, I'm extremely grateful, because we're building momentum, and help me help you help people that you love and care about. And you can do that just by hitting the share button. So a lot of you did that last week, and I just want to give you an acknowledgement and a thanks. Mandy Berlin, hey Mandy, I really am happy that you're tuning in. Haven't talked to you in a while. Ruby Manduano. God, I hope I said that right, because Ruby, you gave me grief last week for not pronouncing your name correctly. But you know what? No habla español, all right? I mean, I'm doing my damnedest here. I'm doing my best. Ruby, I appreciate you. Thanks for sharing. Marta Reyes. Marta, you know, it's probably Marta Reese, but Marta and I go way back, so she doesn't give me shit about not pronouncing her name accurately. Abhinav Kumar. Mr. Kumar, thank you so much for sharing last week. Deborah Twist. Anthony Rogers. Anthony Superman Rogers, as always, you're here, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate you sharing, as you have since inception. Francisco, my good new buddy, I appreciate your comments on the blog. I appreciate you commenting here. I appreciate you sharing. Keep it up, my friend Francisco Marisi. Pauline Lund, Prairie Sky Natural. That's an interesting name, Prairie Sky Natural. Healing, Prairie Sky Natural Healing. Did your parents name you that, or is that Prairie Sky Natural? That's an interesting name. I'd like to know a little bit more about what you're doing, and I appreciate you sharing. I appreciate you being here. Now, as always, if you have questions, we'll do our best to take them live in real time. Right here, right now, we are live. So let's take advantage of that, post them down below. And if I can't get to them because of time, then I'll come back, as my commitment is to you always. I'll come back and answer them and address them if you need more depth and detail. And you just might this week, because I want to talk to you about one of my favorite topics, results. Results tell an interesting story. They tell the truth. They tell who you are and what you're up to and what you're about. Results are a very, very profound way of keeping score of your impact in the world. And I also want to talk to you about another one of my favorite topics, which might stretch your mind. If you're willing to be stretched, hopefully you are. Quantum physics. Quantum physics. Now, the thing that I'm going to share with you today, I can tell you in advance, is going to take a tremendous amount of resilience. It's going to take a tremendous amount of resourcefulness. It's going to take a tremendous amount of resolve to put this into practice. And while I'm thinking about it, there's a link here that you can click. I've just put together a brand new program on resilience. It's my gift to you. 7 videos that talk about the 7 qualities that I have found to build a profound and powerful resilience. And you're going to need that. So you can click the link if you're interested, and let me help you and give that gift to you. But nonetheless, let's talk about physics for just a moment, because quantum physics is the mysticism of the 21st century. I mean, science is way better than science fiction right now. And so I studied quantum physics for over a decade, well over a decade. I'm not a physicist, and that's great for you because I can hopefully bring it into layman's terms so that I can understand it, and then you can understand it as well, because there is application to your life and your business. John Wheeler is a professor of theoretical physics. He was a professor. He's now gone on to grander adventures. But he was a professor of theoretical physics at Princeton. Pretty prestigious school. And Wheeler states that we don't create anything. You know, everything is already created. Now, this aligns with the Christian tradition and many other traditions that say God created everything, right? And Wheeler in science is saying the same thing. We don't create anything. Everything is already created. And according to the Everett Wheeler Graham multiple worlds theory, damn, it's a mouthful, right? Everett Wheeler Graham multiple worlds theory. That's Hugh Everett, Neil Graham, John Wheeler. They postulate that there are multiple universes, multiple worlds coexisting simultaneously right now. Now, that's enough to boggle my mind, and I'm sure yours as well. And they're all in what's called quantum superposition, waiting to be activated. Now we don't have the time here, and it's not the purpose here to get deep into quantum theory. You know, if you're interested in that, you know, I work with my one-on-one clients in this arena, and I can help you, and we can talk more about that in later sessions. But let's just understand for today that Everett Wheeler Graham, some of the most intelligent, most prophetic thinkers in our world, are saying that there are potentially multiple worlds coexisting simultaneously. And what they postulate, Wheeler in specific, is that, first of all, you have to understand that everything is energy. Science tells us everything is energy, and energy only shows up in two ways. It only shows up as a particle or as a wave, right? And it becomes particulated only when we observe it. And so what is happening here, according to Wheeler, is we are sending an offer, what he calls an offer wave, into the future. And that is going out and intersecting with something in the future that already exists. And it bounces back, and that's called an echo wave. So we have an offer wave going out and an echo wave coming back. Now what happens, if you understand energy, is that the table that you eat on, the car that you drive, the body that you have, the money that you have or don't have is nothing more than an interference pattern in a 0-point field. Now I know this is a little heady, but I promise you, if you'll stick with me here, it's not only going to blow your mind, it'll blow your results right through the roof. All right? And so this offer wave goes out of the future, and that offer wave, let's call it intention. What you intend to create in your life and business. Jettisoned into the future, it intersects with that result that already exists in a multiple world, and the echo wave bounces back and comes back, and when they intersect, there's an interference pattern, and that particulates and brings it into form. Pretty crazy, right? And so here's how that applies to your life. First of all, we don't create our business. You don't create your business. You don't create your bank account. According to Wheeler, everything's already created. You choose to participate in the universe where certain results exist. And so now this is not mysticism. This is quantum physics. I told you it was crazy exciting. And so there's a universe that exists right now where your bank account is multiple millions of dollars. There's also a universe that exists right now where it's a couple dollars, and there's another universe that exists right now where it is $0. And the results you have today are the direct outcome of the offer wave and the echo wave that you continually put out and hold and creates an interference pattern that brings it into form. Are you thinking? Are you taking notes? When would now be the time to do that? And so, there is a universe where everything that you choose to experience, not create, but experience, already exists. And again, I'll use Wheeler's words from Princeton. He said, we don't create anything, we choose to participate. Now, you have chosen to participate in the universe that you are participating and experiencing right now, and you've chosen that historically and continued to choose it either consciously or unconsciously. And so other things exist, and the question then becomes, how do you choose to participate in something more powerful and profound, right? Tell me, James, tell me. Well, I can't tell you. I'll have to wait. We'll do that in another session. Sorry, we're out of time. Okay, now look. Kidding. Anthony Rogers asked me, are our thoughts already created for us? And Anthony, I love a guy who thinks deeply. And that's not the topic of today. It's a profound question that we could get into, and I'd love to get into at great depth and detail, but let me just ask you this, to consider this. If you can't control your thoughts, and of course, I'm only talking to Anthony now. All the rest of you, this does not apply to you in any way, shape, or fashion whatsoever, all right? It's just Anthony. It's only Anthony. Okay, now look, if you can't control your thoughts and discipline your thoughts and focus your thoughts, then the question I have for you is, are you thinking or are you being thought? Wow. W-O-W. Now, are you thinking or are you being thought? Because if you can't control and choose and direct and discipline your thoughts, maybe you're not thinking. You see, most people think they think. Most people don't think at all. Most people are just rerunning a program that was given to them a long, long time ago. Okay? Now, let's talk about choosing powerful thoughts. Because remember, we discussed a couple weeks ago, and if you didn't watch that session, go back and grab it. You can go to jamesray.com/live-cast, or you can scroll for an eternity through your Facebook feed, either way. But jamesray.com/live-cast is a great way to pick up the past sessions. We talked in a past session that there are multiple quadrillions of dollars floating through this world right now, and all you have to do is tap in and pipe in to your portion. I mean, how much of multiple quadrillions, that's one with 15 zeros, do you need? Now, again, I know this sounds mystical, but if you know anything about me, I'm extremely practical, and I told you that science is the mysticism of the 21st century. Everything I'm quoting to you here today, you can Google it, you can study it, you can read books on quantum physics, and it's all there. All right? These aren't my ideas. Now, in my last New York Times bestseller, Harmonic Wealth, I talked about and wrote about a concept that I call living from the outcome. How do you create results? That's what we're talking about today. We're not here to talk about mysticism or, physics theory. We're here to talk about getting into that universe that you deserve and desire to live in and stay in there. I talked about a term that I coined as living from the outcome. Now get this, not living toward an outcome. Now, this is a subtle distinction that most people don't get. Living from the outcome, not living toward the outcome. Now think about this. Living toward the outcome is sending a message to the universe that you don't have it. It's sending a message out of longing, of limitation, and lack. Well, James, I want to create a multi-million-dollar business. I want to create a multi-million-dollar body. I want to create a multi-million-dollar relationship, metaphorically speaking. I want to have a spiritual connection that's beyond description. Well, that means you don't have it. If you say you want it, that's already sending a message to your unconscious that you don't have it. You follow me on this? That's a longing, a limitation, and a lack. And you move towards what you focus on. So it's telling your unconscious that you're lacking something. Now, living from the outcome, on the other hand, is stepping into your compelling future, where you have this offer wave, according to Wheeler, that's going out to your compelling future, your desired outcome. And there's an echo wave coming back from that to now. And so you got to step into that, and you got to live from that, not towards that, from that. You get the distinction? You know, power in life comes from making finer and finer and finer distinctions. And you got to make decisions from that point. Remember, I told you it was going to take a tremendous amount of resilience, resourcefulness, and resolve to do what I'm going to share with you here today. I'm going to promise you this is probably one of the most difficult things you're ever going to do. You have to create a clear and measurable plan for your life and for your business. And then you've got to go out and step into that just as if you were there right now. Now, I call that your future pull, right? So I have a future pull, and it's big. It's huge. All right? Go big or don't go is my motto. Now, that's your future pull. There's something out there that is pulling me because it wants me, right? It knows that's where I need to be. And to the degree that I know that, then I'm going to get there. Now, we can make arguments. I'm never going to be able to play basketball like Kobe Bryant, but I don't want to play basketball like Kobe Bryant. That's not in my future pull. And this all goes back to, self-awareness, which is so critically important. You've got to choose something that you're capable of accomplishing. And my future pull, I'm capable of doing it. All right? I know my unique gifts and genius. Do you? I'm not fooling myself. I'm not listening to others. I'm listening to my heart and soul and spirit. And once you know that and you put your future pull out there, then you've got to live from that. Now, here's how it works. You go out into that and you look around in your own mind. It's already there, according to Wheeler, who's way smarter than you and me, or he was, right? He's in some multiple universe right now, listening to us and saying, yeah, go for it, bucko. And so you got to go step into it, and you got to see what you see, hear what you hear, feel what you feel, just as if you were there right now. And then you got to bring that back through the echo wave. Remember, offer wave, echo wave. And as those two intersect, they create an interference pattern, and you got to hold that interference pattern like a pit bull on steroids. You got to hold on with everything you got. You got to be obsessed about it. You got to want that so bad, it's just like oxygen, right? You want it as bad as you want oxygen. If they were to hermetically seal the room that you're in right now, or wherever you are right now, and suck all the oxygen out of it, you'd want one thing. You wouldn't want, you wouldn't be thinking about balance, please. You wouldn't be thinking about, your bills. You wouldn't be thinking about anything. You'd be thinking about air. And you got to want it that badly. And you got to be it, more importantly, be it that badly. And then you reverse engineer from your future pull, from you're living from the outcome. You got to reverse engineer. You know, if you put it out there into 3 years, you got to come back to 2 years, 1 year. 9 yourself, where do I need to be in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months? But you don't do it from here, because when you do it from here, you're coming from limitation and lack. You're coming from limited scope. You got to do it from the future pole. You got to go out there and see it in full vivid detail and be it in full vivid detail. And then you got to reverse engineer all the way back, and you got to come back here and now. That's the easy part. Now you must live every single day from the outcome, not towards the outcome, from the outcome. From that perspective and view. That's tough, even when you teach this stuff. You know, you've got to behave in your life, in your finances, in your business, in your relationship, in your health and fitness, as if it was already now, because it is. It is, and this is not my idea, it's not mysticism, it's not new agey, it's physics. It is. It coexists simultaneously now. I mean, Einstein said, you know, past, future, and present do not exist. Time does not exist as we know it, he said. Time does not exist as we know it. All time, past, future, and present coexist simultaneously now. That's Einstein, right? It's not James Stein. It's Einstein. I'm not making this stuff up. I just studied it, all right? And I lived it. And I'm encouraging you to do the same. And because of my experience, I can promise you it's the hardest thing you're ever going to do. Hardest thing you're ever going to do. To live from the outcome. It has to have already happened in your mind, and you have to know it's in a parallel universe, and you have to know it's already there, and you just get to that universe, and you operate from that universe, and you stay there consistently, and you're going to fall off, and you're going to have all the resistance. If you've been working with me, you should know that term by now. You know, I collectively call all this, self-talk that most people call thinking, it's just chatter. Most people think they think, they're not thinking, it's just chatter. They're listening to chatter. I can't. I don't have enough money. There's multiple quadrillions in this world. There's more money than you could ever spend in a lifetime. You know, if you haven't piped in yet, it's because you're not doing the things that I am encouraging you to do. I'm too old. I'm too young. You know, I don't have a college education. I'm not smart enough. I'm not fast enough. I'm not, whatever. That's all what I collectively call the resistance. And the resistance job is to keep you stuck. Your job is to not let it. Never, ever, 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 ever let it. Now look, I can't tell you how many highly successful entrepreneurs I have worked with, more than I can count. And they have told me consistently that, James, what you're talking about, this theory that you're talking about, this principle that you're talking about has articulated for me exactly what I did to reach the top. And I couldn't articulate it in the same way, but now that I hear it, that's exactly what I did. You know, I'm fond of using, as you know, Elon Musk's example of getting $180 million coming out of PayPal, and he turns right around and he dumps all $180 million into SpaceX, Tesla, and Solar City. All of it. And he has to borrow money for rent. And I love using that example because he's living from the outcome. Do you not think that Musk had the resistance? Oh, you bet he did. Coughing up $180 million and going, okay, I'm going all in. I'm going all in on these 3 new business ideas. You bet he had some resistance. And do you also not believe that he was living from the outcome? Do you also not believe that he believed in his heart of hearts that Tesla and SpaceX and Solar City were worth it and that he could make this happen if all fell into place consistently? Now, does he study quantum physics? I don't know. Doubtful. He's probably too busy. Right? But these are the applications and the actions that people like Musk and Jobs and many, many, many others apply to create what they desire and deserve and bring their greatness to the world. And you can too. I mean, are you not yet tired of listening to the chatter that you don't have the ability to be great? Are you not tired yet of listening to all the limitations and all the self-talk and all the resistance and all the chatter that tells you you don't have what it takes when you do? I mean, there was over, I'm sorry to use a crass example, maybe somewhat crass, but it's natural. You know, there was over 10,000 sperm that attempted to find your mother's egg. How many found it? You did. You did. Fighting 10,000 others attempting to do the very same damn thing. Look, you fought a tremendous battle just to get here. Remember. Think about it. You're already extraordinary. You're already great. Now, let me give you 5 questions that you must ask and answer to live from the outcome. Are you ready? Question number 1. When it comes to the moment of decision and action, you ask yourself, is this decision in alignment with my future pull? Now look, there's some decisions that aren't in alignment with your future pull. You know, is buying a new Mercedes in alignment to creating my outcome? You know, if you're building a business, probably not. A new Mercedes is not going to do shit for you. But is investing in your own development, advancement, and growth in alignment with your future outcome, your future pull? You bet it is. You bet it is. You know, that's my 1/10 formula. Every single dollar you invest in your own development, advancement, and growth is going to return to you minimally, conservatively, 10 times over. You know, and I'm not talking about, you know, it's great that you're here watching From Ordinary to Extraordinary. It's great that you watch free videos. It's great that you study free shit. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. People who are moving and shaking make an investment in themselves. And we live in a time where everybody's wanting to grab all the free stuff and kick the tires and go on a test drive, but so few are willing to step up and do what it takes to get the job done. Let that not be you. Question number 1, is this decision, action in alignment with my future pull? You get a yes, you go to question 2. If you get a no, you're done. You loop out, right? Out of the loop. Number 2, will making this decision accelerate my outcome? My future pull. Will making this decision now accelerate my outcome? Now, there could be some decisions that are in alignment with your outcome, but they're not necessarily going to accelerate the achievement of the outcome. You with me? So you get a yes there, you go to 3. You get a no? Nah. You loop out. Number 3, will delaying this decision hinder the fulfillment of my outcome, my future pull? Let me think. You know, is it going to accelerate? Yes. Then if I don't do it, is it going to delay? Well, then the obvious answer would be yes. All right? You get a yes on question 3, you go to question 4. What decision, this is a big one, what decision would the person I'm becoming make in this moment? Now look, you know, I'm not about the money. You know that. I've never been about the money. Money is just 1/5 of the equation. It's just a tool. And yet, we all need money to fuel our businesses and our outcomes and our life. And so, money is a great example to use only because it's tangible. So, let's just say for a moment that you want to build a $1 million business. And your future pull is you're there. You've gone into the future, you stepped into it, you're already there. Now you come back and you go, okay, you know, with the person I'm becoming, that $1 million business owner, make this decision right now. Remember, we're on the fourth question. And we've already been through the first three and got a yes. You get a yes on number 4, you go to number 5. Last question. If money were no issue, would I make this decision now? You get a yes there, you got to act. You got to go. You got to go bold. And I can tell you from my own experience, it's going to scare the shit out of you, because there's going to be a lot of times where you're going to look at the current state of affairs and you're going to go, I don't have the money to do this. And you're going to have to get, remember I told you to take a lot of resourcefulness and resolve and resilience? You're going to have to get resourceful and find a way to find the resources. Because Musk put 180 million all in. He didn't save any money back for rent. He had to borrow money for rent. He had to get resourceful to pay his bills. And most people will never, ever, ever do this. And by the way, now he's worth billions. Multiple billions. All right? And I say God bless him, because I know what it took to get there. I know the mentality and the psychology and the strategies that it takes and the big, bold action to make that happen. Once you have your answers, then you got to act. This takes courage, obviously, and it's incredibly powerful. So now, there you have it. How to get results? I just gave it to you. If it doesn't scare the shit out of you, you're probably not doing anything great. Your job is to push the envelope. You know, your job was to fight over 10,000 swimmers to get to mama's egg. And you did it. Your job was to wrestle out of mama's womb. That was a battle in and of itself. Your job, just like the butterfly coming out of the cocoon, you ever watch it, it's a struggle. It's in the struggle that potential greatness is born. And so, it looks like we have another question. Radislaw Banak. Hope I said that right, Radislaw. When does the documentary come out? December 1st. December 1st on CNN. And yeah, I hope you'll tune in. Hope you tune in. I'm going to be in New York from November 28th through December 2nd, doing a lot of media appearances, talking about and promoting the film. So yeah, I'll just tell you straight up, it's hard for me to watch. I've watched it probably 5 times. It's very emotional for me to watch. You get to peer behind the curtain. And I look at a lot of things and I go, damn, I could have been a better man at that point in time. We stopped shooting that 2 years ago, and I've grown a lot in the last 2 years. The last shooting we did was 2 years ago. And I look back and, I live a life of reflection. I look back and I go, God, I could have done a better job there. Damn, I could have been a better human being. And, I'm constantly growing and expanding. But, it's raw and real. It's raw and real. And hopefully you'll tune in. Hopefully this has been helpful today. I cannot overstress the importance and the power of what I'm talking about here. And what I want for you is to remember the things you've forgotten to remember about who you are and what you're capable of. And so hopefully I've given you some things to think about. Please share. I appreciate you being here every single week. I appreciate your comments. And if we didn't get to them here today, I'll come back and look at them later. Share it with your tribe. If you know someone who is willing and ready and needs to remember the greatness, then I believe you can help me help you. Help those you love and care about by just sharing this video. Thanks so much for being here. Until we talk again next week, same time, same place, stay awake. Love life and be epic.